Hey everybody, Josh and David here for Whiskey Wednesday for Argonaut Wine and Liquor. Today is the day I know a lot of you have been waiting for. We finally have our set of Maker's Mark picks in today. So what's really cool about these guys are, this one, some of you may remember from last year, we sent our last barrel pick from Maker's Mark in to San Francisco, the wine and spirits competition, one of the biggest in the world. It actually won double gold. So that's where your double gold winning Argonaut single barrel team comes from. So we repeated that recipe with this one, and then when I was out in Kentucky in May, we did another one as well. So yeah, it's a really cool program that Maker's Mark does, and we're really excited to share two very different expressions of one kind of stave that we played on.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know about the program, so basically it'll tell you on the front what staves they decided to put in there. So they put 10 staves of one kind in a barrel, let it sit for 9 weeks. Then we go out there, we try every single one, pick out the notes we like, then blend it based on you know, how much we think we want to put in, and try a few different ones, and then they take all those staves that we chose and put them in the barrel at 9 weeks. Fun thing about these though, the proof is always different. So the one they did, the double gold one, will be a little bit different. It was like 110.07, and this one's 109.8. But yeah, really fun program.
So yeah, the proof will be slightly different. Where these kind of came from was Maker's Mark can't do a traditional barrel program, right? They rotate their warehouse, they try, their biggest thing is consistency. They want every single barrel of Maker's Mark to taste consistent. So when single barrels started becoming a popular thing, you know, they had a problem, because if you just picked a barrel of Maker's cast strength, every single one's going to taste basically the same, minus, you know, a couple points for proof.
But they rotate their rick houses, one of the few that does that. So
what they came up with were these finishing staves, and like David said, we try, if you had done, there are 5 different staves. If you had done 10 of one, 10 of one, 10, we try what each of those are like, figure out what we like, and create you know, our own version of Maker's Mark, which is really cool. So what we have in the glass right now is our most recent one from Kentucky in May. So what we did with this, we did 0 of the banked American Cuvée, 2 seared French Cuvée, 2 Maker's Mark 46, 4 roasted French Mendiant, and 2 toasted French Spice. So what's going to be kind of interesting about these two are the French Mendiant stave is the most recent stave to the program. It's my favorite stave so far, and we kind of tried to take it in 2 different directions. So we focused heavily on the French Mendiant, and then took one way and one the other. So this one, you really get like a kind of cakey confectionery sweetness, like some vanilla on the nose.
Still get a little bit of the barrel though.
Definitely some oak notes, and I mean, God, that is just butter smooth. I mean,
get a little spice on the front of the palate. Lingers with you though pretty long.
Yeah, the spice definitely is there, and then it fades. But the finish on this, I mean, it's just sitting on your tongue, and that'll be there for a while. And it's definitely got those, again, those big like cakey kind of vanilla notes in it. I mean, just a really kind of sweet, but not like overly dessert sweet bourbon. Really well balanced. I mean, that's fantastic.
Literally getting sweeter as it just sits on my tongue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good job, man. That's a good one.
And then we've got our repeat of the double gold winning barrel. So this guy, the stave makeup on this is going to be none of the American puree, 3 of the French seared Cuvée, 0 of the Maker's Mark 46, 3 of the French Mendiant, and 4 French Spice.
Get like a little bitter coffee on the nose with this guy. But yeah, still a little bit of sweetness too, but
definitely more of those like bitter, spicy notes coming to the front.
Way different than this one though.
Yeah, that's the very, very different noses for sure.
Fun part about this program.
Right. I mean, yeah, it is really cool about this program. I mean, we focused on one stave and took it in 2 different directions, and there are, you know, something like a couple million different possible combinations, and to my knowledge, there have only been 2 that have been sent into San Francisco that have won double gold, ours and one other one. And actually, the other one was before the French Mendiant was a part of the program.
I don't get the spiciness on the palate that you do on this one, but this has got a lot more earth to it. But it still does have a little bit of sweetness in the back end.
Definitely, yeah, definitely got some sweetness. Definitely got a little bit of that like bitter coffee, like a dark roast or something like that. Which is kind of interesting because in this one we had the Maker's 46, which is generally one of the more, coffee, bigger, bolder staves, and in this one we didn't, but it ended up with some of those notes anyway somehow, which is really interesting.
Let's say this one's more of a classic, just a classic bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, both of those are fantastic. So both of these are on the shelf right now. They will be merchandised next to each other, so you can check out the two different stave combinations. Both the same price, both on the shelf. Also, we're going to be doing a small release for some of our Angel's Envy pick today. Probably a few cases out, first come, first serve. And then as a reminder, we'll be drawing names for the rest of these bottles at the end of this month. And our Drink Local edition, after our Drink Local edition next week, which is going to be a real treat.
Yeah.
Next week we have a really special guest. We have Jackie Zykan, formerly of Old Forester, now with Hidden Barn Whiskey, which is a local project, sourcing some Kentucky juice, partnered with one of the great whiskey clubs in town. So we are super excited to be welcoming them next week. It's definitely not something to miss. And while you got a shot, come on down, give these a shot. Cheers.
Cheers.